Where's everyone from? Is everyone in the UK? Let me know. London. London. Yep. Cool. Excellent. Yep. Yep, I'm going to be streaming it to my YouTube channel. Good evening, Julie. Okay. So welcome everyone. Welcome to tonight's workshop. Tonight we're going to be looking at toxic shame, recovering from narcissistic and emotional abuse. So everyone's muted. I'll be asking questions throughout the workshop. If you can communicate with me via the chat, that will be great. We still have people joining. Just letting them in. Okay, so the agenda. We're going to be looking at what toxic shame is, how it can affect our relationships. We're going to be looking at narcissism, what makes a narcissist, how do we identify a narcissist, shame-based feelings, and then at the end we'll have a hypnosis session. Probably won't be going in that order, but the hypnosis session will be at the end. And then I'll be going to the pub because the pubs have just reopened here in the UK. Okay, so what is toxic shame? What does it mean to you? Let me know in the chat box. Let me know your definition of toxic shame in the chat box. Okay. Is there a risk to be re-traumatized? You may find some of it triggering. Yep. shame, feeling inferior and guilty, like there's something wrong with you. Yep. Feeling worthless. Shaming how they make you feel. Like you're the one in the wrong. Not capable. Like your feelings aren't valued. Like you need to hide. So not accepting yourself. Because, yep, can cause us to lose relationships and opportunities. Yeah, it can be very exhausting emotionally. That's very true. Yep. Okay. Well, we're all born with healthy shame. Erik Erikson said that shame is part of psychosocial development. And in the first stages of development, we needed to trust our caregivers, and we needed to feel safe. And then we started to be able to move around, and we needed healthy shame, which stopped us from venturing too far from our caregivers and stopped us from doing things before we were ready. As adults, healthy shame helps us to function in society and lets us know when we need help. So, healthy shame, if we had good enough parents who were predictable and made us feel secure, we learn to develop a state of trust. Erik Erikson, he was a psychologist who specialized in developmental psychology. So toxic shame is when parents or teachers criticized us rather than our behavior and choices that we made. So they planted the seed of toxic shame. And when we identify with shame-based models such as abandonment trauma, negative memories, verbal, mental, physical, emotional abuse, these things create toxic shame. Yep, you attract people who bully you. So growing up with toxic shame can cause splitting, and it can make us feel ashamed when we need help, when we feel angry, assertive, sad, fearful, sexual, or even joyous. We become cut off from vital parts of ourselves and behaviors and feelings, and then we project these disowned parts onto others. And to become whole, we need to accept all these parts. We need to accept that No one is broken. Every part of us has value and needs to be accepted. So I believe someone said before about they were in a relationship and they took on toxic shame from that relationship. So all abuse is the transfer of shame. And everyone is doing the best they can with what they have. I always say this. Parents who are abusive usually abuse their children the way they were abused. And if they don't resolve that trauma, they've internalized the shame and then they project it out on to other people. If you're a child of parents with this kind of trauma, this kind of shame, you're going to be an easy target to take it on, and you're going to internalize the abuse. You're looking to, when you say sorry for everything, that could be a sign of toxic shame. Yes, absolutely. Or codependency, people pleasing. Yeah, people pleasing. So we all have the, we're all born with healthy access to the 4 different trauma types, the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn response. And if we grow up with good enough parents in a healthy environment, we're going to have access to all those responses equally. If we grow up with abuse, we're probably not going to develop the fight response because we won't be able to fight back. We'll be too small to fight against our parents. We're not going to develop the flight response because we're reliant on our parents, so we can't run away. Freeze response is something that we all go into when we're presented with a danger. It's where we're going to go into the freeze response to weigh up the situation, to understand what's going on. And then we have the fawn response, which is what causes codependency and people pleasing. So you can't fight, you can't run away, it's pointless freezing. So you're going to fawn, you're going to put other people's needs before your own. You're going to be worried that you are upsetting people and apologizing all the time. And you're going to be looking to be a people pleaser. So, okay, so John Bradshaw said, shame as a healthy human emotion can be transformed into a state of being, and shame can take over your whole identity. So when we have a lot of toxic shame, we're going to either act out or act in. So if we're acting out, we're going to become abusive, we're going to become narcissistic. Yeah, I just added that in there because it was on the questions. We're going to become abusive. If you want to learn more about the 4 Fs, you can see my the last video I did on complex PTSD. So, yeah, as I was saying, yeah, absolutely. So when we become consumed with toxic shame, we are going to have all this energy, this as someone else was saying, it can be very draining. It creates a lot of bad energy, a lot of bad feeling. And to deal with this, we're either going to act out and become abusive ourselves, or we're going to act it in. And this can cause addictions, it can cause obsessive compulsive disorder, it can cause suicidal thoughts, perfectionism, inferiority, inadequacy, or failure. So again, John Bradshaw said that shame is the effect which is the source of many complex and disturbing inner states. So John Bradshaw said that toxic shame can cause depression, alienation, self-doubt, becoming isolating ourselves and avoiding people, loneliness, paranoia, schizoid phenomena such as that would be dissociation, compulsive disorders, splitting of the self, perfectionism, a sense of inferiority, inadequacy, or failure. And it can lead to personality disorders such as borderline and narcissism. So to cope with toxic shame, we need to alienate it from ourselves. When we experience emotions that we've been shamed out of, we are going to experience toxic shame. We're going to want to distance ourselves from it. And the first emotion that many people get shamed out of as children is anger. And this is a really dangerous emotion to disown, because without it, you're going to take on more and more toxic shame until you feel contempt for yourself. Or in the case of the narcissist, you're going to project these alienated parts onto other people. And taking on this toxic shame can cause us to split and dissociate. So people say that if you want to know what a narcissist's doing, look at what they're accusing you of, because this is what they do. They alienate themselves from these parts that they've been shamed out of and this behavior, and they project it onto other people. So toxic shame can make us paranoid, can make us expect to be betrayed and humiliated. This can be caused by projecting past experiences on to different people. Yep, compulsive overeating. So overeating, I don't know, they're not aware they're projecting, no. They, as I said, they've created this. I'll come to narcissism in a moment. Yeah, overeating, when we don't want to feel emotions, we can look to suppress them. We can look to suppress them through drinking or overeating or sex addiction. So, yeah, any kind of compulsive behavior is an attempt to suppress these emotions that we've been shamed out of, these things that we don't want to feel. So toxic shame, as I said, can cause us to be paranoid, to be expecting to be betrayed and humiliated, to project past situations onto other people. And again, you know, a narcissist, they're going to be paranoid and they're going to be projecting their own sense of deficiency onto other people. So from the book A Road Less Traveled, Scott M. Peck says, Neurotic people assume too much responsibility, so they're always anxious. When someone with a character disorder doesn't assume enough responsibility. So when neurotics are in conflict with the world, they will automatically assume they're at fault. And when those with character and personality disorders are in conflict with the world, they automatically assume the world is at fault. Okay, I will share my YouTube link at the end. And Carl Jung said, all neuroses is an attempt to avoid genuine suffering. So then we come to narcissism. So we all have narcissistic traits, and a little narcissism is healthy. You know, when a child, again, going back to, you know, the toddler stage, the child needs narcissism to be able to start to separate from their parents. So, you know, the age of toddlers, terrible twos, this is when healthy narcissism is helping the child to grow. But when we grow up in a toxic environment, narcissism can become a coping strategy. So the narcissist is going to be feeling very insecure about themselves. They're going to have a low sense of self-worth. They're going to have low self-esteem. So this makes them the ultimate codependent. They need to create a mask because they've been so full of toxic shame. They have so much contempt for themselves. Yep, overparenting, spoiling the child can create narcissism, as can trauma. So the narcissist is going to create a mask, like a false self, and they're going to need to sustain this mask through constant narcissistic supply. They're going to be needing to be constantly admired. They're going to need to manipulate and exploit people. They're going to have a grandiose sense of self-importance, and the grandiosity is caused by the will being disabled through the shaming of emotions. They're going to bully, they're going to demean, they're going to intimidate and belittle other people. Who's your fearless leader, Donna? Hello. Hello, Kashifa. Just looking on YouTube, saying hello to people there. If you have any questions on YouTube, please put them in the chat box. Oh, Trump. Yeah. Trump was considered a very narcissistic individual. Yes. Okay, so reenactment. If we don't learn from our past, we're going to reenact it. So when we don't resolve our trauma, we're either going to inflict it on others or find new people to inflict it on us. Should we show? No, you shouldn't show compassion to a narcissist. You should get away from them as fast as you can. Anyone who is abusive, you just need to get away from them. Don't try and understand them or have any compassion for them. Just escape. As Marlene's saying, run. They are dangerous. Are they aware of their behaviours? Some are. Some project them onto other people, and some are aware of their behaviours, yeah, but they see it as being valid, as being like, you know, they're righteous, they're right in their behaviour. They see it as though you're the problem. If it's a narcissistic parent, they're going to see it as though they're giving you tough love. No, narcissists don't worry about being narcissists. No. So, okay, so you've joined late. What generally happens to children who've grown up too fast, dealing with arguing parents, cheating from one parent, and the child would have to solve it all? Okay, so right, okay, so a child who grows up in an environment, a child's going to think that everything's about them. So if they're growing up in an environment where the parents are always arguing, they're going to internalize that and think it means there's something wrong with them. And if one parent is leaning on the child for emotional support or psychological support, if the child's having to step in and solve it all, this is known as enmeshment. And yeah, it's very narcissistic of parents to enmesh their children. Well, if it's someone you can't run away from, if it's someone you can't run away, if it's someone you can't, a narcissist they need to feel important. They need to feel special. So if you really can't run away from them, you need to build them up, to feed, yes, Marie, to feed their ego. But like I say, that's not a good it's not a good plan. Best thing to do is to get away if you can. Yeah. They are sneaky and secretive, yes. How is the enmeshment broken? Do you mean how is the enmeshment broken, or how does enmeshment make you broken? Okay, so if they keep as I said, you know, if they are if they're abusive, you need to get away from them. You need to leave. Don't worry about setting boundaries or them throwing the toys out of the pram. Just get away. And if they are throwing the toys out of the pram, as you put it, flying into a narcissistic rage, they've basically regressed at that point. They're not logical when they're like that. So there's no point in trying to argue with them. They've basically reverted to being a child. So yeah, you just need to get away. You can't reason with them. How is the enmeshment broken? Well, you need to do inner child healing to understand, you know, to accept yourself, to reintegrate all parts of your inner child. Yeah, absolutely. You know, covert narcissist going to be gaslighting. They're going to be filling your head with all sorts of horrible stuff, and they're going to be doing it like, yeah, it's very difficult to overcome because it can be done very covertly. And if you try and fight against it, then they're going to play the victim and, you know, make you out to be the abuser. Again, I wouldn't recommend, you know, talking to your parents about it. Like you say, they're going to deny it, and then that's just further gaslighting. What you can do is write letters to your parents and then burn them. No, a narcissist probably never going to heal. A narcissist, you know, there's a theory that narcissists are looking for what's known as mortification. So they're looking to get to a stage where they keep getting in situations because and causing drama because they're looking to heal their issues. So they're living in a kind of drama triangle and flying from one drama to the next to try and heal their issues. So yeah, they're never, to answer your question, you know, they're never going to heal. So get away from them. But yeah, that's what they're looking to do, and they're going to reach a point of mortification, which is where they may become aware of their narcissism, and they may find that they need to heal, but don't wait around for that. Just reading your questions. Yep, you can get leverage with them, Irene, but you really need to leave. As someone else said, feed their ego. You know, make them think that, you know, they're great. Yeah, absolutely. Most people don't realize until late because they, like I say, they internalize this shame, and yeah, they don't realize. Usually it's generational trauma. It's like a family of narcissists. There's never just one narcissist in a family. The whole family will have issues. Yep, you can be a narcissist. Yeah, trauma will usually cause narcissism. So will being spoiled, which also causes trauma as well. You know, if a child's spoiled, then that can still be traumatic for them, just as physical and, you know, mental abuse can be. Someone who's spoiled as a child is likely going to have been enmeshed by a parent, and they are going to take that into, you know, relationships. If it's a man, for example, who's been enmeshed by his mother, he's gonna, you know, that's, you know, a major problem of relationship issues. How can you be sure you're not raising a narcissist? By doing your own inner child work, healing your own trauma, and yeah, understanding yourself. You know, if a child's, you know, depending on how old the child is, as I said, you know, all children are going to be narcissistic. When we are first born, we have no boundaries. Everything is part of us. It's only once we start growing up, you know, like 3 or 4, that we start to get awareness, start to realize that, you know, there's actually other people in the world. And so, yeah, if a child's narcissistic, you know, it could be that, like I say, it's, yeah, that, you know, all children are going to be a little bit narcissistic, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, they will want revenge. Once you get rid of a narcissist, once you break from a narcissist, you know, that's the ultimate rejection. That's what they're afraid of. You know, that they were rejected as children, and they're afraid of being rejected again. So once you do that, you've confirmed their belief that people will reject them. And then, yeah, that once they can't get supply anymore, that will make them become very, very nasty. Yeah, that's right. That's from Freudian psychology, the id, the ego, and the superego. Yes. No, I don't think there's any difference in narcissistic people. Narcissists are narcissists. Well, if you marry a narcissist, get a divorce. Yeah, no, they don't usually move on. No, they will move on. You know, that they're going to need to find a new source of supply. A true narcissist is going to need supply, so they will definitely move on very, very rapidly. What kind of safety plan is needed? I don't know. I'd recommend, you know, speaking to maybe someone like Refuge, or if you're male, there's, you know, charities for men such as Mankind. Yeah, as Marlene says, there's lots of services that can help you with that. Okay, so to prevent reenactment, if a parent loses their scapegoat, do they find another? Yeah, narcissistic families, you know, they're going to have a favorite child, a golden child, and then they're going to have a scapegoat. And as children, we're going to learn to take on these roles to matter within the family. So if the parent loses the scapegoat, yeah, that they will be looking to find another. They're going to need someone to project their toxic shame on. And so if that scapegoat leaves, then they are going to need to find another one very quickly. I'm not sure if you can be a golden child and a scapegoat, not from the same parent. Maybe with one parent you might be the golden child, with another one you might be the scapegoat, but it's not likely that you'd be both to the same person. Yep. Okay, so to prevent reenactment, we need to fully accept ourselves, to reintegrate our emotions and our projected parts. So how we can do this? I have an inner child program starting in May, on the 1st of May. It's going to involve group coaching sessions, and all sessions are going to be recorded. I'm going to create an exclusive Facebook group and a messenger group. There's going to be weekly exercises and a workbook. We're going to be looking to reintegrate all ages of the inner child. No, a narcissist will never admit to being a narcissist. They don't see there's anything wrong with them. They don't want to see there's anything wrong with them. They see everyone else as at fault. So there's going to be weekly exercises, a workbook. The program will reduce anxiety, increase self-esteem and confidence. It will help you control your impulses, reconnect with emotions, and of course to release toxic shame. And the normal price of this program is $299, but special price for today only is $149. So if that sounds good to you, if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, let me know in the chat box. Do you use IFS for reintegrate? What's IFS? Yeah, that's right. The narcissist is going to love bomb you at first. They're going to buy you all sorts. No, I don't. No, I don't know. No, I don't do anything in. No, I don't know of internal. It's not something I've heard of before, so no. Yeah, narcissists going to love bomb you. They're going to buy you all sorts of gifts and everything. And then once they've got you, you know, in that kind of situation, they're going to turn abusive. Yeah, you know, many people who go into roles such as that are actually narcissistic, yes. Not saying everyone is, but many are. Okay, so some feedback from previous people who've done the program. So, question, who wants to try some hypnosis? Let me know in the chat box if you'd like to try some hypnosis. Yep. And have you tried hypnosis before? Let me know in the chat box if you've tried hypnosis before. Okay, if you're interested in the Inner Child program, you can sign up for it via the second link that I just put into the chat box there. Use coupon code workshop to get it for the special price of $149. Okay, what does hypnosis help with? Hypnosis can help with a range of issues. Just putting it in the chat box there. Oh, someone on YouTube says I'm the worst narcissist. Lovely. Okay. Okay, so before, yep, especially on YouTube. Okay, so before we do some hypnosis, I'd like to do some exercises to show you the power of your mind. So what I'd like you to do is to hold your hands out in front of you like so. Place your left hand with your palm facing up and your right hand with the palm facing down. Take a deep breath in and close your eyes. With your eyes closed, I'd like you to imagine that in your left hand, we've placed some heavy leather-bound books, and to your right hand, we've tied a helium balloon, a large helium balloon. And that helium balloon is going to rise up as the left hand lowers down. Those heavy books are sinking lower as the helium balloon is rising up. Just imagine that happening now. Then when you're ready, open your eyes, come back to the present, leaving your hands where they are, and notice the difference. If you saw a change there, let me know in the chat box. Yep. Yep. Excellent. One of you said no. Oh, two of you said no. Yep. Excellent. Okay. So something else we can do, take your right hand, place it out in front of you like so. Without turning your lower body, just twisting at the waist, just twist round and notice how far you can go. Notice the point that you get to. And then come back to the middle. Once again, taking a deep breath in, breathing out and closing your eyes. This time I'd like you to imagine yourself going around even further. If you want, you can imagine yourself going all the way around, doing a complete 360, just imagining it in your mind. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes, come back to the present. Once again, holding that hand out. And then this time, twist round and just notice how much further you can go. And if you notice yourself going further, let me know in the chat box. Yep. 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 Excellent. Okay, so we'll just do one more. Taking your hands, placing them together like so. I'd like you to just notice that your hands are both the same size. And then just relax your hands, put them down. And now, once again, you can close your eyes and just imagine your left hand growing just a little bit. The fingers on that left hand coming just a little bit longer. Imagine that happening now. Only imagining. Maybe you can wonder what it would feel like if that left hand were to grow a little. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes and once again place those hands back together and just notice if the fingers on your left hand are any longer than the fingers on the right. Yes, no, no, yep, no, kind of. So for some of you it worked, and for some of you, it worked for about 50% of you, it looks like. Excellent. Is it magic? No, it's the power of your mind. Okay, so hypnosis is a deeply relaxing state that we all experience several times during the course of a day. It's not magic. Someone on YouTube said their left hand. Yep, excellent. Okay, so it's not magic. It's a perfectly natural state that we all experience several times during the course of a day. If you've ever driven somewhere, got into your destination, not remembered the journey, that would be a state of trance, a state of hypnosis. If you've ever been reading a book, lost track of time, that would be a state of hypnosis. So it's a focused state of attention. It's not sleep. It's not something that's done to you. It's something that's done with you, done with your cooperation. So when you're ready, just take a deep breath in and allow your eyes to close. With your eyes closed, you can begin to relax. Continue breathing. Just focusing on your breath. Breathing all the way down into your stomach. Notice your stomach rising as you're breathing in and falling as you breathe out. Maybe you can see if you can notice the difference between those breaths. Maybe the in-breath slightly cooler than out-breath. Just take a moment to notice if you can find more relaxation with the breath in, breath out. Maybe you can imagine a tiny voice in the back of your head telling you to just Relax, relax, relax. Allowing you to drift deeper, deeper. Feeling a state of comfort. Maybe a state of comfort coming over your body, going all the way down from the top of your head to the very tips of your toes. Maybe you can imagine the tiny muscles in the forehead just flattening out, letting go. That relaxation continues to flow down into your eyes, eyelids, taking you deeper, deeper. As a person starts to enter a state of hypnosis, a state of trance, they can become aware of various phenomena. The tiny muscles, arms and legs may twitch just a little. They may notice arms and legs becoming loose and limp and heavy. All the time you can continue breathing deeply. Maybe noticing pulse becoming just a little bit slower as you start to relax more and more. I wonder if you can imagine yourself safely, securely supported in a warm, fleecy cloud, drifting high up, sky above your timeline, looking down. And we look at things from a distance, we can get a different perspective. We look at things one way, they can mean one thing. We look at them another way, they can mean something. So just looking down at that timeline, maybe feeling a state of detachment. All the time your conscious mind can drift and dream, and unconscious can become more alert, more in control. It can be like you've got a TV on and you're doing something else. It doesn't matter what plays out on that TV, happy, sad. Your mind is elsewhere. So looking down on that timeline with unconscious mind, you can maybe imagine yourself sending lots of different versions of you down to Change any memories, maybe taking your younger self out of any memories may have led to toxic shame. Maybe comforting your younger self, giving your younger self a message in some way. Just imagine yourself doing that. You can send lots of different versions of you down. Change lots of different memories all at once. Maybe you'll get a sense of those changes taking effect. Could be a twitch of a finger or thumb. It could be a word or an image that comes to your mind. Let you know that you've released anything that may have affected you in the past. Allowing that to happen. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. When I reach the number 5, you can come back to the present, noticing how good you feel. Feeling that things have begun to change. You have begun to change, and over the coming days and weeks, you can become aware of things. Allow you to know these changes have begun to take effect. 1, maybe sensing down into your feet, feeling the energy rising up your feet and into your legs. 2, up your body. 3, down your arms and into your hands. 4, and on the next number you can open your eyes, come back to the present. Notice how good you feel. 5, eyes open, wide awake. If you like that, let me know in the chat box. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Excellent. Yep. Thank you, David. So, as I said, if you'd like to sign up for the Inner Child program starting on the 1st of May, you can do so at the link in the chat box. Use the coupon code WORKSHOP. If you'd like to have a chat to me, you can book a time via my website. Yeah, any questions at all, let me know in the chat box. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. That's the end of the workshop. So thank you and good night. And who's going to the pub? Let me know in the chat box if you're going to the pub, because I am. Thank you. Yep, with the program, yes, the sessions will include hypnosis. There'll be a presentation like this, then there'll be a hypnosis session, and then we may do exercises, things to integrate our inner child, and then we'll probably do another hypnosis session. So the sessions last an hour and a half to 2 hours, and they're all recorded. Thank you, Victoria. I shall. So if you miss a session, you can watch it back, and you obviously got the sessions to keep. Thank you, Angie. Thank you. Yep, find it hard to meditate. Excellent. Pub wait can be over. Cool. Okay.